So the pen tool creates these nodes, right? So we want to get the shape, and then when we have the shape, we can do other stuff to it. It's easier to add your shadows, your colors, your highlights, your midtones, all of that. It's a lot easier when you have a shape that you can put it in. And with shortcuts, instead of like dealing with the layers panel, and I've put my pen together, but instead of dealing with the layers panel, there's a lot of shortcuts that you can do to um have to deal with the layers panel. So I'm just gonna get right into this. So, and if you don't know how to use the pen tool, I guess I can try to explain it. You create a node, and then when you pull it, these two little nodes on the side right here, they create like the balance between this one and this one, since you're from your last one, and then you can change how it'll look. Oh, sorry. If you hit Control, it changes to the node tool, and you can mess with that, or you can grab the little nodes and then mess with your node. So there's a couple different ways to use the pen tool. We'll go through that if you guys want me to. I'll probably end up making a tutorial because I've been trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. So yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna start. We're just gonna do the face. I'm not gonna do all of this. We'll just render the face and just go from there. So it's pretty easy. It's kind of just making a bunch of little nodes. Yeah. So there is some things that you'll find that you can't just go placing everything. Like sometimes you have to, the better you place your nodes, the easier it will be to create these curves. And if you do end up like selecting one, hitting Control and moving one of these nodes, make sure when you go back to the pen tool that you select the last node. So if you do, I'll do a lettering tutorial. Yeah, I'll just go back to the node. But for right here, you want to create this one as a sharp node, and that'll give you a sharp line instead of if you did it as a smooth node, it would create like this weird node. It just doesn't look right. But yeah, and then using the pen tool over the pencil tool, you don't have to create as many nodes either. Like the pencil tool works. I'll do something about that. But yeah. So like right here, it created this straight line because I'm connecting this. But what I can do is just hit Control, and it switches to the node tool, and then this little line, I don't know if you can see it, but it pops up, and then I can just pull this down, and then if it's a little messed up, I can keep on holding the Control and pull these, I don't know what they're called, anchors. I'll figure out what they're called. But so if we just deselect, so to see what you're doing without all these, you can hit Control D, and you can see what we did. So it's kind of on point there. So and Control while you're still in there. And if you made too many nodes, you can just select the node with the node tool, and sometimes too many nodes makes it kind of like jagged. Like it will make it jagged looking, you'd see, but and then you can just hit backspace and it will delete that node. And then you can go back in, or you can select this node and kind of, like I wanted that nose a little straighter. So let's see what that looks like. And there you go, you got your little selection for the face. And then so we'll select, so if you hit the V on the keyboard, it goes to like the selection tool right here, the move tool. But you can just select it and then right here, get the color panel out. And I like to keep this close so I can, instead of going all the way over here and whatnot, or you can go up here for the fill. So that's what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna fill it. But right here, this is the stroke. Instead of going all the way over here, this one's the stroke and this one's the fill. And then this is the HSL sliders. And I'm just gonna fill it with a color. We'll do like a skin tone-ish color. And then like that seems alright. Oh shit, this is RGB. I wanted HSL. So this is the HSL sliders. So this is your hue, your saturation, your luminosity. So we'll go with like, that seems like kind of the skin color I'd want. And then to see what's going on underneath, you can either go like this and turn your opacity down from here, or you can, whatever you have selected, you can just hit the number, hit a whatever number on the number pad, and if you hit 6, 1, 0, so 0 is like all the way up. If you watch the opacity, you'll see like this is like this is so this is just changing. Like if you watch the opacity over here, you can see I'm just hitting a bunch of different numbers, and you can see it changes. But I do want to finish. I do want to do the eyes and stuff too. So yeah, I'll just finish up the eyes. So we'll deselect this. What we got selected here. Control D to deselect, and then we'll P to go back into the pen tool. And then I get the eyes that I have to do. So nodes for the eyes. So it if you don't curve this first one, like when you first start, I'll just Control Z to get rid of that. The node, so if you don't do this when you first start, it automatically creates a sharp node. So if that's not what you want, just move it a little bit. But I do want a sharp node, so And I want to sharpen it here too, so I won't move it. But right here, I do want to start moving it to get like that curve with the eye, you know? And then I want another sharp note here, and then here. So it's kind of like trim. And then, yeah, that gives us the eyelid. So I'll just deselect, I'll hit V, V, and that'll select it. So now I can just put whatever color I want in there. Like, I'll just do white. You can always zoom in. Like so. So, we're gonna do a little bit of this, bit of that. And then for here, I do want kind of the lippy lip, you know. In the bottom lip, I'm gonna leave. You'll see. But okay, so we got that, and then I'll deselect, and I'll get her teeth in here. This is her teeth. And we'll just do this. We'll follow. And here. It doesn't really matter because this is all gonna be covered up anyway. Like this line will be covering up her teeth. And then, yeah, let's see. So we'll just fill this with some white, some yellow teeth, and then yeah. So I'll Control 1 to zoom back out to regular, and then we can see we kind of got this. I'll hit the V key so I can grab my selection tool, bring this back up, and then she looks a little freaky, but you can see now that we have, it's a lot easier than doing a sketch, right? And then if you were sketching this out, to fill it in Designer, you would still have to end up doing the nodes anyway to make the fill. But with the vector, you can just do the outline, which creates the fill and the line at the same time. And then for shadows, you already have a shape where you can put in, I'll show you. So like to create the shadow for the nose, we'll go back to the pen tool, and then deselect this. And then for the nose, which is pretty cool, we can just go like this. We can go outside, and then we can fill that with, we'll just grab the color. We'll hit I to grab the eyedropper, and then we'll just fill it with that, right? And then change the hue of this, because it's going to be like a shadow. And we'll change the luminosity, We'll make it a little darker, and then change the hue a little bit. And then, so it looks a little funky right now, but we'll select it. We'll hit V, select it, Control X, and then we'll click on the shape that we want to put it in, and then we'll do Control V. Control X, Control Alt V, and Control Alt V will place it inside of the object that you had selected, which is pretty cool. So watch, if we deselect this, and then we double click to get back to get on it, and then we'll just get rid of the stroke, and you see we got this little shadow there. And we didn't even have to go into the stroke. We didn't even have to go into the layers menu or anything. It was all just shortcuts, right? So we'll do that, and I'll do that in the next tutorial. But I'm still trying to figure out how to do these tutorials and to teach and work at the same time. So it's like, I hope that kind of showed you a little bit about the pen tool and a little bit about the process of how we're going to do this.